Hello everyone, it's Laura here from makingcardswithsun.com, and it's time for another Saturday STEM Day carding video. In today's video, I'm going to use the Woodland Gifts stamp sets from Mama Elephant, and I'm going to start out by stamping a few of these images onto some Simon's Stamp Ultra Heavyweight cardstock, and you're going to see me stamping quite a lot of images because the project didn't quite go as planned. So I stamped more images than I am going to use on the actual finished project. So I'm stamping these images using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and then I'm going to do some Copic coloring. So for the mouse, I am using an NO marker first, and I'm just going to add that around the edges of that paper because I just want like a really light gray color. Going to blend that NO color a little bit by using the colorless blender. So this is just a colorless Copic marker, and you can use it for blending, but you can also use it to remove some of the color. For the inside of the ears, I am using an E0000 marker and an R11 marker as well. And then for the actual bear, I am using 3 different markers. So first I'm using E53, and I'm just using that as a base for that bear. Then I'm going to switch over to the darkest color, so that's E57, and I'm going around the edges of that bear. So I kind of changed my coloring technique a little bit. Nowadays I switch over from the light color to the darkest color, and then I use the medium color. So here you can see me using the medium color, so this is E55, and I'm using that color to blend that dark color with the lightest color. So I'm kind of flicking my brush downwards and upwards just to blend that all together nicely. And then finally I am using the lightest color again to blend it all together. So I'm using the same 2 colors for the insides of the ear from that little bear. So I'm using E0000 and R11 as well. I have links to all of these Copic markers in the supply list below, by the way. So then for the little details of that bear, I am using E30 and E42. And I'm also going to color like little hearts. So I'm using my 2 favorite pink colors for that. The first one is RV0000. And then the second one is RV11, so I'm just using that to add a little bit of shading. Then I'm going to die cut those images, and did you see Ginny over there? So she was sitting on my lap while I was creating this card, and she was like sniffing all around my craft room and on my craft mat, and she was really interested in those dies, so you saw her little face pop up over there in the left corner. So then I took a die cut, so I used the Catherine Cutaways die cut set from William Walter, and I die cut that tag out of some white cardstock, and I'm going to mask off one area because I want to have 2 colors on this tag. I am using some painter's tape to mask that off, but you could also use a post-it tape if you would like to. So for my lightest color, I am using Spun Sugar Distress ink. So this is the mini distress inks. I also have the original size, but I like to use the smaller ones lately because they just fit my craft room better, because they just take up less space. So then I'm going to mask off the other area or the other half of that tag so I can add the green color. I'm using Shabby Shutters for the green, so this is like a really light green. It's also perfect to create a grass scene. Going to add a couple of splatters on there, just some sparkle. I'm using a Mr. Huey's Mist from Studio Calico, but you could also use Perfect Pearls. So after I die cut the bear and the mouse, and after I finish that tag, I'm just adhering that on there with some foam adhesive. I wanted to have some purple on this card, so I'm using some purple baker's twine from Pretty Pink Posh. This twine was part of a Pretty Pink Posh embellishment kit. So I'm going to create a loop, and then I'm going to pull that little loop through that little circle of the tag, and then I can just also put those 2 ends through that loop, and then you have a nice tag. So I wanted to adhere those ends of that baker's twine to that card. So I'm just using some multimedia matte, and I'm only going to use a really small amount of it. I'm just going to apply that to that baker's twine so it just gets a little bit more flexible and I can easily adhere that onto that card so it dries clear, so it's, you know, it will still, the baker's twine will look the same as it did before. So I'm just going to press that down a little bit, and then I'm going to stamp a greeting from that same Woodland gift stamp set from Mama Elephant, and I die cut a banner using that same die cut set from Winnie and Walter. And I'm using lavender ink from Simon Says Stamp to stamp my sentiments. So this is like a beautiful lavender or soft purple color, and I decided to use that color because it matches the baker's twine perfectly. So I cut that a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to adhere that onto that tag using my ATG by Scotch. So this is my favorite and go-to adhesive. Then I'm just embellishing my card a little bit using some sequins from Baton. This is the Cinderella's Ride sequin mix, and I just really love the colors in this mix. It's like green, a pink, and then also some gold. It's just really pretty. Then finally, I wanted to add a little bit more of sparkle and dimension on this card. So I'm just using a Clear Wing of Stella glitter pen first. And then I'm going to add a little bit of dimension using some glossy accents. So I really like how the Clear Wing of Stella pen and the glossy accents look together. It's just really nice and sparkly, and it gives some really nice dimension as well. So that finishes up the card for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very soon. Bye bye!